Thanks for coming, guys. Really appreciate it. Firstly, we've got Jonas here. So he's from Colin Grove. He's going to a tournament today later this afternoon. So he's got the day off school to be here. And so he's just going to help. He's going to be like my demonstrator here as we go through some movement stuff, and kind of, I guess, share how my views have changed on movement. I was big on little steps and thinking it was all about little steps, but my philosophy has kind of changed into, I think movement's now becoming a big step sport. Tennis is becoming a big step sport, more explosive, rather than all these little adjustment steps, which you still need. But we're going to kind of go through that here through a few drills. So what I see with movement is first, the first problem is the size of the steps. The second problem is the confusion around the stance and the contact move to play. And then the third is the balance. So we're going to kind of look at a few drills and step in there. So first and foremost, before any movement can happen. Do you want to just hop up here? And Jonas doesn't know what's going on, so he's just kind of going to go through here as I guide him. Before anything that starts here with movement is, I'm going to have Jonas looking ready. So I can't have Jonas standing here like he's waiting for a bus. Okay, so that's first and foremost. So I'm talking ready position, I'm talking stance, I'm talking just being ready to play. So that's the first thing I want to get right. So with his ready position, I'm gonna get his arms out. He should be able to fit a basketball in between his arm and his hands. And then he's got to have a slight bend in his knees, and his feet have to be wider than his shoulders. Okay? So because if I don't get this right, if I don't get this stance right, he can't take big steps. He just can't do it. So if he's in here and I want him to explode, he can't do it. So from now, when he's in this position, now his first step's going to be big. Okay? So what I want you to do, Jonas, here is just kind of go through that flow that we spoke about, okay? And just kind of go through maybe 4 times. Yep, so you're going to split. And just as you're watching here, I want you to see how far he's getting in 2 steps as he's covering the court here. Now, versus if I had Jonas moving in this position, so do you want to take little steps, like lots of little steps, and move out to here forehand, just take lots of them. So if I had him moving like that, he's going to be a lot taller, he's going to be a lot more off balance, he's going to be a lot slower getting to the ball. Okay, so my goal here is to get him thinking lower, bigger, and wider. Okay, now I'm all for adjustment steps. The best players actually do this and then might adjust 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it would look more like something like this. So if I got Jonas to come out here and let's say he plays his ball, he might split, he might 1, 2, and then put, and then hit. But he's gone big first. He hasn't gone little. Okay, and so what happens here is that if Jonas can do this movement right, he actually is building speed on top of each leg. So each step is faster than the other, okay? The worst thing you can do is if Jonas did little steps, he does little steps, he does these little steps, little, and then jumps, because he's lost all momentum, he's lost all power, okay? So he wants to build the power. Okay, do you want to go through again? Yeah, so if he does the big steps, he'll be building as he hits. Just go that flow again. Yeah, go forehand, backhand, big. 1, 2. So he's actually building speed into the ball. So when he goes to hit the ball, he's going to hit it far cleaner. All right. Perfect. Okay. So that's the first thing I want to get going here. But I don't want you to think that I don't like adjustment steps. Adjustment steps you're going to have to use them. All right. If the ball comes to you, you're going to have to do little steps, get around the ball. But that's how I want him moving now. And I think that starts from hot shots level. I think we get confused even with the happy feet, our terminology, the language happy feet, on our toes, and we start seeing all this stuff as we're moving out. So I want to get him using running steps. The next part is I want to get him using contact moves as he goes to hit the ball. So he's got to work out what he wants to do, what stance he wants to do when he hits the ball. Now, as he goes out to hit the ball, I want to reverse engineer technique. So I want him to think, firstly I've got to move there, then I'm going to work out what I want to play, and then I'm going to work out the technique, how I'm going to hit it, not the opposite. And so what I see a lot with the stances is this idea of saying, I'm going to hit my perfect forehand. But then the ball comes in and it's not perfect. So I want him to move out to the ball, work out his spacing, work out what he wants to do with it, and then he's going to find the technique to hit it. So for example, he might hit, let's say we get him out, moving out to the ball, he might come out here and decide he wants to hit a lob. So then his whole technique and the way he approaches that ball is going to change. If he came out and thought he was going to hit an angle before he's got to the ball, it might not be the right ball. So I don't want him to get set on a stance. I don't want him to get set on a swing path until he gets there, and then he decides what he's going to do with it. Okay. So Jonas, do you want to just go through some of the contact moves here on the forehand? So we're going to go through kind of like 4 key contact moves here. So we're going to go through a shift where he's going to shift his body weight on the ball. Yep, show us a shift. Yep, so he's going to shift his weight past the ball. Yep, perfect. Can you show us a hop, left foot hop? So you're going to go more up. Yep, so that's a hopping contact move. Do you want to show us a pivot, so the lower ball? Yep, so that's a pivot. And can you show us a transfer step? Yeah, so that would be maybe more of a return. Can you do a loaded transfer where you might set up a bit more? The ball's more in the middle of the court, higher. Boom. Yep. So you might do that more in the middle of the court if he's got a lot of time. But they're the contact moves I want him to understand and play. But now I've got to make sure that he's flexible around that. Because what happens is we go, okay, this is the move I want you to play, and then they get stubborn on it. So then the contact move becomes really stubborn, and he's trying to hit the transfer on every single ball, and the ball's coming hard, it's coming deep, it's coming wide, and he can't do it. So I need to give him all the answers to solve all the problems that his opponent's going to ask him. Okay. The next key area is his balance. So with his balance, I need to maintain that his head is dead center in between his feet. If he loses that, his shoulders are uneven, and then his chance of error increases is high, because his head is the heaviest part of his body. So if that starts to tip, he's off balance. Okay, and so what I want to do here is I'm going to go through three shots here with the ball. I'm going to get him to kind of put these big steps into play. All right, you right? I might stay down here just to keep you guys in close. So I'm just going to feed it. All right. All right. So the first, what we'll do, the first one is doing a reverse cross on the off forehand. Okay. So what he's going to do here, he's going to split step, and then he's going to drop his back leg behind so he can turn and move at the same time. Do you want to show? Yep. Yeah, and then you're going to get your leg out, boom, there, bang. And then he's going to play the ball here. So instead of doing all these little adjustments, do you want to go again? Yeah, instead of doing that, go again, do that again. So lots of little ones. Yep, good. Now do lots of little ones. Yep. Now I do think there is no right or wrong with this, because I think I've got players that do the little steps and I think they do it great, so I don't change it. I can't be, you can say I've got a philosophy, but I can't be too stubborn with it if it works for the player. How I would teach someone starting would be more this way though. Okay, so do you want to hit this ball? So you're going to split, yeah, and just play the forehand that way. So split, reverse, yep, good. So you see how we got there quick, and then he adjusted, good. So you're going to split, reverse, yep, come back, split. Or see how we went front, so we got his steps confused. Yep, do you want to go 4 more? So big split, reverse. So he's covering that off forehand in 2 steps. And so, yep, cool. So it's very efficient. Does anyone know who moves like this on TV? Yeah, well, yeah, he still does probably more little steps, I think, than another player. Anyone know? Djokovic. Yeah, he's covering the court. Djokovic is covering the court in 2 steps, almost everywhere, because he's able to do the splits. And so no matter where he is on the court, he's taking these huge strides, and he's getting the ball a lot cleaner than, say, someone like a Nadal. I think Nadal works very hard with his movement. He's more physical, so he's like pumping, whereas Djokovic looks like he's a lot more efficient. He's saving a lot more energy than what I think Nadal does. And Federer's very efficient too. The left hand does, yeah. Yep. Yep. All right. The next drill I want to show you here is a short backhand. Now what I want to see Jonas do here with the short backhand is not let the head tip over. So I was talking about the balance, and this can be done at any level. So what I would do here is I'd do a 2-ball drill, and so I'd get Jonas to come out and hit his forehand. Then he's going to come back, split step, and then I'm going to drop the ball in here, and he's got to drop his back knee on this backhand, because I don't want his head, I don't want to see this, I don't want him to come up where his head tips over and his shoulders are uneven. Okay, so I'm going to get him to try and drop his back knee. Do you want to just show this without the ball? So you're going to come out, yep. He's going to come back, and he's going to drop his back knee so he can keep his head back. As soon as he tips his head forward, he's off balance. Okay. Now this drill here can work at any level. So for example, if I was doing an orange ball class, I could have my player coming out hitting a forehand, and then as he's coming on the backhand, we can work on getting him to stop, getting him to break, getting him to change his grip from forehand to backhand, getting him to start preparing the backhand as he's moving. So there's so many things here. You could almost do a whole term of this drill with a different variation every time he hits the backhand. In terms of preparation, in terms of setup, in terms of braking, in terms of direction. So there's so many things here we can work on just in this one basic drill. Do you want to go play it down the line so you don't hit me? Yep, so split. Come in, drop the back knee. Yep, so he stays back, he doesn't tip over. Go again. Good steps, drop the back knee. Yep. So I don't want him to tip over, let's go a couple more. Yep. Okay, one more, split step. Drop the back knee. Okay, good. So from that position as he's moving, he now doesn't have to get dragged forward. What you see all the time is someone coming in, they topple over, and then they end up at the service line because they're not able to stop themselves. And it's got to do with the way the head comes in. If his head tips over, he's going to keep moving. He might even be inclined to start coming into net when he shouldn't be. Okay, so that's what he was doing there with his balance. That's his head. Okay, so sometimes we try to get the kid to break with their legs, but it's actually where his head is. If the kid's head is toppling over, he's gone. Okay, because his balance is thrown out. All right. Okay. The next component I want to talk about is the stroke flexibility. So what happens is I was talking about the stubbornness on the contact, and so when the ball comes in, always thinking you've got to attack the ball, and I think that's the biggest mistake, because what happens is you basically become one-dimensional, and you can't problem solve out there. So what I want Jonas to be able to do is feel like he's got a stance for every single ball he plays. And so what I'll do here is we'll work it like a 3. So I'm going to push him back deep, he's going to come back, I'm going to push him out to the side, he's going to come back, and then I'm going to push him in front. And I want him to work on his different stances here as he's playing this ball. So we'll just do 3, just play it down the line again. So split, you're going to push back, come back in, you're going to push wide, push back, and then you're going to step down. Yep. And so I want him to feel where his legs are here. Not so much, we're not talking racket in hand. Not talking racket in hand, I want him to feel his feet. Go again, so split. Good, that's a hop. Now you've got the shift. Now you're coming back, now you've got to step down. And now he's working on his stances. Okay, all good, you want to try the backhand? So same concept on the backhand, just because it's a backhand, we don't change our feet. Yep, play it down the line. Sorry. Yep, so bad feed, and he adjusted. I didn't have to tell him. Okay, his feed was short, he stepped in. Split, hop. Yeah, did it again, good. Good. Yep, is there any questions as I'm going here? Anyone got anything to add? Anything they disagree with? Anything they feel might not add up with this type of movement? Because I think here is that it's the ability to play off the baseline. Okay, he's got to be able to feel like he can move back. I feel like juniors in particular feel like the baseline ends here, and that means they can't move past it. It's like they think the court ends here. I think the court stops here, but I'm thinking there's all this space back here that I want my player to feel like they can use. They don't have to, but they should feel like they can. Okay? All good, you all right? Yep. All right, so what I want to do now here is as I move him back, there's one last contact move that I would say starts to get a little bit more advanced, would be if I push him right back, he's got to do what I call like a rotational spin. So he'll now, this is where he'll be on his left leg, and he'll kind of really coil and turn. Do you know this one? Yep, so you'll go back and you'll do a big turn, boom. Yeah, and you'll then twist it. Yep. So what do you do? So he's adding more, and he's going to have to hit this ball a lot higher. Just play it down the line again. Yep. So once again, he's using his legs to work on the ball. 3 more. Yep. Good. Okay, hold. All right. So last exercise here is the loaded transfer on a return, but also getting him to feel like he's got to be flexible within that. Does anyone want to serve for me here? No one wants to hit some serves? Shannon, can you hit some serves? Beautiful. You're going to return. Yeah. So now we're just going to look at his... Hey? Yeah, done. You can take these balls here. The trolley's a bit funny. Maybe go this side here. Come over this. Yeah, you can serve to this side so he's closer. Come in. You all right? Yeah. So the thing here with the return, you can start on the service line, Shannon, that might be a bit easier. On the service line, just serve from there, it'll be a bit easier. Okay, so yeah, just hold one set. So one thing on the return here is that we always want it kind of perfect, and I think when you're playing someone, the ball is rarely perfect. So what I want him to think here is that he's got to implement hops, he's got to implement transfers, pivots, whatever he needs to do to get this return back into play. Now, do you want to just go through some of these transfer moves? Yeah. So what he's going to do is he's going to go through his forehand transfer move. Yep. So you do your forehand. Yep. Good. So you're going to split step in. Yep. Good. Just keep going his forehand. He's going to step in. Good. Yep. Left leg in front. Yeah. Good step. Yep, so try and watch his feet, not where his ball goes. Good. All right, cool. So Shannon, can you serve the ball to him now? Yep. And I want you to try and play a backhand, and I want you to try and hop on your left leg. Just let him show the pattern first. So let's imagine the ball's coming to him. He's just going to show what he wants to do. Yep. So you're going to stay a lot lower. Yep. So imagine the ball's coming to him. He wants to feel like he's transferring onto it, but he can't because the serves come straight to him. So it's like it's jammed him on the body. So what he wanted to do, and the perfect outcome is now rendered useless because he's been jammed. So he can't do that anymore. So there's a level of actually being stubborn and being flexible. Yep. So go again. Yep. So maybe try and serve a bit harder onto him so he has to react. Yep. Good. Yeah, good one. So see that one there? We got jammed and then he had to use a different kind of setup. That's good. Yep. Last one. Good. Last one. All right, we'll leave the returns there. That is the presentation on movement. So being flexible, using different setups, and not being stubborn with the setup there. So 1, get rid of the little steps, what I believe. 2, the contact move, and 3, the balance there. But all stems from the wide split step first. You can't do it without it. Any questions? We're done. Thank you.